Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Tuesday. Hey, baby.
Well, hello.
How you doing over there?
I'm good. I had a nice, long, relaxing weekend, and
yeah, it was fun. We had
ready to be back at work.
A nice Memorial Day. I hope everybody had a nice Memorial Day, and more importantly, I hope that you did something to honor the veterans, because that's what it's all about. So hopefully you did that yesterday. If not, do it today. Wacky but true. Woman bashes snoring boyfriend with crowbar.
Oh.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
A 45-year-old woman is facing misdemeanor domestic assault charges after hitting her boyfriend in the back with a crowbar, trying to get him to stop snoring.
Jeez.
Somehow, the man managed to stumble out of a Nebraska motel room where the couple was staying and make his way to a nearby convenience store. That's where officers found him suffering from 3 large welts.
Oh,
the
just
woman,
welts?
Yeah. The woman, well, she hit him in the back with a crowbar. So, yeah, it would probably be welts.
Wow.
Anyway, the woman was arrested.
Good.
No word on whether or not he was able to get back to sleep, but I doubt it. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the Bee Gees and the interesting thing in the works there. Also, we're going to talk about the library and many other fun things on a fun-filled Tuesday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Are you a fan of the Bee Gees?
You know, yeah. More so than the Beatles. I know. It's bizarre, but yes.
Them's fighting words, Heidi. Well, renowned writer and director Richard Curtis has been hired to write a Bee Gees biopic movie. It'll follow the lives of the Gibb brothers from their humble beginnings in Australia to their rise to the top of the charts, followed by their fall, and then rise again as one of the most iconic and acclaimed groups in the history of music, with one of the best-selling albums of all time, Saturday Night Fever. Yeah. So they've sold a lot of records.
Oh, yeah.
Back when they were records.
Yeah, they did.
So if you're a big fan of the Bee Gees, they're coming to the big screen.
I can honestly say I won't go to a movie about the Bee Gees.
But do you think people will? Do you think this is something that is this an answer to a question that's not being asked? Is there a line of people saying, "Where's my Bee Gees film?"
I have I guess we'll see. Time will tell. Huh?
You mentioned the Beatles. Do you think that would make more sense for somebody to do a story like a movie about the Beatles?
Well,
It would
make more sense to be seeing a movie about the Beatles, but I'm sure there's already been stuff about the Beatles,
Could
right?
be. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Maybe they're working on a movie about Boxcar Willie next. Who knows?
Could be.
So anybody that has a slight bit of fame, they're like, hey, we need to do a movie about that. Coming soon, the John and Heidi Show movie.
Hollywood is definitely running out of ideas, so I wouldn't say that's too terribly far out of the realm of possibility.
All right, coming up, you can steal from the library, but you have to do it quietly. I'll tell you what that's all about. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Interesting story here from Indiana's math department. There was a woman who was visiting the University of Indiana's math department. An employee asked to see a copy of a doctoral dissertation. And then, in a bold, daring move, she stole the documents. The employee saw the woman running across the street and jump into the passenger seat of a car. It was a truck that was waiting, and they sped off. The department chairman, Dave Hoff, said the theft was puzzling because copies of dissertations can be checked out of the Indiana University Library at no cost whatsoever. So they're not quite sure why she stole it when she could have just checked it out. So she checked it out permanently.
Yeah. And did they find her?
It doesn't say in the story if they did. I wonder if maybe there was something in that dissertation that was like incriminating against somebody, and they're like, I need that out of there. I can't have that evidence.
Treasure map.
Could be.
We watched.
we were watching National Treasure
over the weekend.
But more than likely, it was probably not a treasure map. It was probably more like if there's something that's like dirt on somebody that's running for office, maybe that's what it is. Need that dissertation out of here. So I have no clue. In the math department, what kind of what kind of shenanigans?
What kind of scandals could be in the math department?
What kind of shenanigans could there be in a dissertation on math? I forgot to carry the 8. I have no idea. All right, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Kind of a bird brain story here, Heidi. According to the BBC, a bird was arrested. This is a bird that was carrying a satellite tracking device, and this bird was arrested on suspicion of spying.
All right. How can you, why would you arrest a bird? Most likely, whoever sent it out had it in a cage to begin with. I don't think he's really going to care.
I'm not exactly sure. I think you would need little tiny handcuffs if you were going to try to arrest a bird. Pretty sure. This South African stork named Saturn was detained after crash landing in Burundi. The bird was part of the University of Cape Town study. It was monitoring the migration patterns of birds. So we're tracking this bird to monitor the migration pattern. Villagers in the area where Saturn landed were suspicious about some strange device strapped to the bird's back. They caught him and handed him over to the police. An email was sent to Professor Les Underhill at the Cape Town University after his address was found on the device. It said that the bird had been taken into custody, and he was supposed to reach out to them. So they arrested a bird because he was supposedly spying on the good folks there in Burundi.
Well, there you go.
Where is Burundi? Have you ever heard of that?
I don't know. India?
I have no idea, but that's where this bird crash landed.
It sounds
in
like
Burundi.
an Indian.
I have no idea. It sounds like a place where they would arrest a bird. So that's what they did. Not exactly sure. Hey, we've got the scoop of the day coming your way here in a bit. Also, we've got Tuesdays with Charlie on the way. We appreciate you joining us on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Got a sign right here that you might not be a good criminal. You might not be a good criminal. This is from 1995. There's a story here about some thieves in Kenworth, England. They broke into a discount store and they stole 60 tubes of toothpaste.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be, they're like $1 a piece. There's like $60 worth of toothpaste.
Right.
That's all they got. That's it. You're gonna face
risk going to jail for 60
tubes of toothpaste. Apparently, they really wanted to.
They take their oral hygiene very seriously.
Apparently, and we should be talking to your dad about this. We've got Tuesdays with Charlie coming up here in a bit, but this is a fun little tip. You have to remind me to remember to talk to him about this. But Mark Behrens of Nebraska celebrated a rare milestone last week. He turned 110.
Oh.
Now Charlie's not 110, but the reason I bring him up is there's an inevitable question that people always ask when you turn 110 or, any age that's older than most. They say, so what is your secret to longevity? Mm-hmm. And he says, I got a good answer. My secret is beer. He said, every day I drink a can of beer at 3 p.m. every single day. That is the secret to my longevity.
At 3 p.m. every day?
Every day at 3 p.m. he has a beer. He goes to sleep at 3:30. I don't know about that.
Probably. It makes
he's
you
110. Sleepy. So, I don't know. I thought that was kind of an interesting story. So, if I remember, I'll bring that up when we get to Tuesdays with Charlie. Chances are, I won't remember. I usually don't. We do have the scoop of the day on the way. I hope I remember that. It's coming up next.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for the scoop of the day, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Talked to some folks that got their razors from the Dollar Shave Club. They said they heard me talking about it.
Oh, good.
And they're trying them out. If you haven't yet tried them, you might want to check into that. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/radio, and you can get razors for $3 a month, and they'll ship them right to your door for that. It's really cool. Now let's go over here. The scoop of the day. Hungarian police have arrested a volunteer fireman named, let me see if I can say this right, Solf. I don't know how you actually say his name. It's a bunch of vowels and consonants are all jammed together and are really weird. It's in Hungary. So,
all right.
Anyway, he admitted to committing the crime of arson 9 times.
Oh.
He couldn't resist the urge to set fire to dry leaves. Zolfus Disk caused about $600,000 in damages to houses and property, and this is in his village of Ruza in southern Hungary.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he's a fireman, by the way. Did I mention that? He's a volunteer fireman. So he would go out and set fires, and then he'd come back later.
Help put
He's
them
like,
out.
"Hey, now I got something to do. I'm going to put these fires out."
Oh my gosh!
All right. Hey, ABC News reports that 71% of children say they need a vacation. Good news. Just in time for summer.
I would agree with those children.
71% of children say they need a vacation. Oh, this just in. 29% of children say they don't need a vacation.
Our kids are some of those kids.
I know, it's funny.
We tried to take them on vacation.
We were like, hey, let's go on a cruise.
I had lined up a cruise.
Yeah, we were going to do something nice.
We were going to go to Florida and spend some time at the theme parks.
They said no. No.
They're like, nah.
We got school.
I don't want to
miss
miss
out on
any
anything.
school.
I was like, are you guys sick?
Wow.
What is wrong with you?
I don't even. They must have been switched to the hospital because there's no way they're my children.
All right, moving on with our scoop of the day. State tax collectors in Minnesota said that Estelle Bush owed more than $100,000 in back taxes on her winnings playing the slots. She must have done well.
Good for her.
Minneapolis woman claimed gambling for her is a business, and she should be able to deduct her losses to $200,000 in losses.
Oh, well, you know what? She's kind of got to...
Yeah.
If they want her to claim her winnings,
Yep.
she should also be able to claim her losses.
Minnesota Supreme Court agreed, ruling that she did not owe back taxes. Bush says gambling for her isn't fun. It's hard work. State tax collectors disagreed, contending that the retiree had no particular skill and depended on luck to win. So there you go. Apparently,
but she's got a good point. I mean, that's
go.
a valid point, really.
Could be. A man drives his brand new car into a big steaming pile. Well, we'll talk about it here. A young English couple had to be rescued from a big pile of manure.
Ew.
Yeah. He sank his car in a manure pit on a trip to the country. Craig Atkin took his girlfriend for a drive because she strongly disapproved of his new car. She was mad that he spent so much money on the car. She was maybe a little upset, and he said, I'm going to patch things up. Let's go for a ride in the country. You'll see just what a great car this is. So they went out for a little drive. He drove into a giant pile of manure. The car sank all the way up to the windows.
Ew.
That's a lot of manure.
So much for that new car.
It's got that new
so
car
much
smell.
For that new car smell.
New car smell. Hey, a study from Louisiana found that just dieting is as effective for weight loss as dieting plus exercise. So if you just diet...
I actually agree with that. We have proven that many times.
They say that the exercise part's important too, but more importantly is the dieting.
It's just the amount of food.
And if you're only going to do one, do that one.
Do the diet, yep.
All right, I got a couple of strange laws here. I don't exactly know why. The one is kind of part here and part there. First strange law. In Gurnee, Illinois, it's illegal for women weighing more than 200 pounds to ride horses wearing shorts. I think it's the women wearing shorts.
Why would the horses be wearing shorts?
I think it's the women wearing the shorts. But if you're wearing shorts and you're over 200 pounds, you cannot ride a horse in Gurnee, Illinois. Only ladies. Doesn't say anything about the gentlemen there. In Massachusetts, mourners at a wake may not eat more than 3 sandwiches.
Wow.
That's in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So if you're having a wake in Massachusetts, don't invite me, especially if I'm hungry. 3 sandwiches.
Just ain't
a lot of the time they're little guys too. You're like, I could eat 3 of those.
I get hungry when
easily.
I'm sad.
I do. I'm a sympathetic eater.
I am too.
I get a little sad.
I'm
like,
emotional eater.
Gonna have to. You know what's gonna fix this? 6 of those sandwiches, and then I'm gonna go to jail. All right. Thanks for listening to our Scoop of the Day, brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Learn more about how you can get razors delivered to your door. It's $1 a month and then $2 for shipping. So for $3 a month, you'll be in razors all month long, and they'll bring them right to you. The only thing they won't do is shave you. Although, if you the mailman brings them.
If you pay enough.
If you like the mailman and you get along, maybe you could talk him into that too. That's up to you. But you can go and find out more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thank you so much for listening on a Tuesday. It's time right now for my favorite program of the week, something we do every Tuesday at this time just because we can. We pick up the telephone, we call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie. How you doing, Charlie?
Good morning.
Good to talk to you.
Hey, didn't we just talk a little while ago?
Seems like only yesterday. It was
Seems like
Tuesday
yesterday.
again. You know why? Because we had a nice long weekend. We had Memorial Day over the weekend there, so that's probably why it
right.
seems so quick. This last week went fast.
Maybe that's why I don't remember too much.
There you go. You were under the influence of something, I'm sure.
Yes, I was.
Well, what
Hey.
kind of stuff are we going to learn about today?
Do we have anybody in our family with blue eyes?
Yes.
I have blue eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, this will work for you then, too.
All right.
I've never looked into your eyes, I would tell you.
I looked into your eyes. It seems to me that they were brown. I thought that was because you were full of something.
Well, they were red the other day. I don't know.
I noticed that too.
Hey, all blue-eyed people
Yeah.
have a single common ancestor who lived near the Black Sea 6,000 to 10,000 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, his uncle who?
Uncle Blue Eyes.
Uncle Blue Eyes.
Oh, Frankie.
Hey, then in his role as James Bond, Sean Connery?
Yeah.
He wore a toupee to hide his receding hairline.
Did he really?
did.
Now, that's pretty low.
Well, no, it's pretty
Well,
high,
it was
apparently.
supposed to be like...
Otherwise, he wouldn't have needed the toupee.
Well, maybe he had one down there, too. I don't know.
Charlie, have you ever considered wearing a toupee?
No.
Why not? You like being bald?
Sure.
See, I right now I'm not, but I keep saying I wouldn't mind being bald because I wouldn't have to mess with my hair so much. I'm like, I hate getting haircuts. I wouldn't mind just having it gone and going Charlie style.
There you go.
Just
Might
shave it
catch
off.
on.
I tried, and my wife over here didn't like it, Charlie. She said I looked like an idiot.
To be
Well,
fair,
that's pretty much normal, though.
To be fair, I say the same thing to my dad. So
Okay. Throughout its lifetime, an elephant goes through 6 sets of teeth.
6 sets, huh?
And then the elephant starves to death once the 6th set of teeth falls out.
oh,
they
that's
should just
sad.
Spoon feed him some applesauce or something.
But I think that takes like forever to get rid of that 6th set.
Okay. Well,
I
that's
love
good.
elephants.
I know
Older
you do.
than me and you. Of course, everybody's older, or not as old as I am, but you know how that goes.
Yes.
Hey, you're a fan of presidents.
Yes.
Do you know what Lyndon B. Johnson? He enjoyed Fresca so much, he had a special soda pop tap installed in the White House.
Yes, he did. I did know that.
Did you?
So he could have Fresca anytime he wanted it.
Guess what I'd have if I was president in there?
Schlitz.
You'd have a
On
keg
tap.
on tap at all times.
And then you'd
Cold.
drink too much of it and you'd accidentally start another world war. What did I hit? That was the nukes. We are now at war.
Oh, the one, is that what that button did?
I thought that was to order some chicken wings. You had that installed right next to it, which we told you was a bad idea.
You shouldn't put it in my reach. Hey, then, do you know what the world's oldest surviving recipe is?
Beer.
Yeah, I think it is beer.
Yep, formula for making beer.
There you go. Glad they didn't lose that.
It was discovered outside Baghdad in 1850 on a 3,800-year-old clay tablet.
Nice.
On a clay. Oh, that's cool. I'd kind of like to see that.
Well, there you go.
I
Then
wonder where they
found
have
some
that
other
stored.
Clay tablets that had beer drinking songs on them.
Irish drinking songs.
From ancient Egypt.
Yeah. Hey, they had to start somewhere.
Oh. Okay, I got one last thing here for you.
Okay.
What's the most common name for privately owned boats? I've told you this once before.
Let me
See if you remember.
was it Whistle Britches?
No. Serenity.
What was it?
Serenity.
Serenity.
Huh.
I've never seen a boat named Serenity.
Well, you don't go.
Have you seen a boat named Whistle Britches?
No, but most of the boats I see don't have names.
Hey, do you know what the second most common name is?
Whistle Britches. No.
Hey, you're close.
What is it?
Wet Dream.
Wet Dreams. Oh, that's kind of funny.
I do remember that one.
Oh. Well,
I
then
do
why
remember
didn't you say
saying
that one?
I remembered him saying that one not after he said
Then you didn't remember it.
it. Well, I remembered it after he said it.
Or did you have deja vu? Didn't you just say that? Well, Charlie, you know, I feel as though I failed you as a son-in-law. You know why? I don't
Married
have
my daughter?
Well, that too. No, but I don't have a question for you because yesterday being a long weekend and whatnot, I didn't get anything ready. So we don't have a question for you today, but we'll have one next week. How's that sound?
I don't think anybody's going to win anything today.
You know what?
not.
That means I get to keep it. And it was such a great prize today. I'll just keep that one for myself.
There you go.
Well, Charlie, it was fun chatting with you. We'll talk again soon.
I'll be there.
Bye,
right.
Dad.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can with a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
Today is Tuesday, the 26th day of May. It's World Lindy Hop Day.
I have no idea what that means.
Nor do I. But it's also Gray Day.
I like gray.
I know you do.
I
was
do.
going to say, you have a friend that used to, he stayed with us for a while. He was with us for 6 months. He wore gray every day, but maybe 2 of those days where you made him wear a different color.
I made him wear a color. I even made him
didn't
wear
you buy
a
him
pink,
a
pink shirt.
Bought him a pink shirt.
He looked good in pink.
And he complained about it the whole
I
day.
actually talked to him just yesterday.
Was he wearing gray by chance?
No, he wears lots of colors now.
Does he
I'm
really?
Quite proud of him, yeah.
Bright and vivid?
Yes. He asked if
Lots
we
of
could meet up
neons?
and go on a vacation. And I said,
That would
yes,
be
we
cool.
can.
There you
so
go.
We're going to meet up in Mexico.
I'll make sure I pack a lot of gray. It is National Gray Day today, and celebrate however you will. Also, World Lindy Hop Day. If you know what that means, you have to let me know. I could Google it if I cared. Apparently, I don't care. I don't know what it means. Coming up, we do have a fun story that takes place in Vermont, and we've got another story about some vacuum attachments. Interesting story. We'll chat about all of that. Let your mind do a little churning, and we'll be back to fill in the blanks. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
Hi, it's Jewel and Kelly Pickler. Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women.
So we've joined the American Lung Association's Lung Force.
Because it's going to take a force of women to create new hope.
Please join us.
Fight lung cancer in women at lungforce.org.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Have you ever been to Vermont?
No.
Nor have I. We'd like, maybe some day we'd like, I know we'd like to travel. I
would
think we
love
should
to.
travel there.
Yeah.
Go check out Vermont. It sounds like a beautiful place.
It does.
While we're in Vermont, we'll have to stop by Dummerston, Vermont.
Ooh.
That's kind of an interesting
That
name.
is a cool name.
Dummerston. Doesn't sound like a place where smart people would live, does it?
I would love to live there.
Where do you live? Dummerston.
Dummerston.
Well, father and son team Herbert and Brian Powell of Dummerston, Vermont, trying to live up to the community's name there, they took a drive to Connecticut where they became hopelessly lost. Driving aimlessly down the road, they spotted a police car parked on the shoulder. They thought, let's stop and ask for directions. That would have been fine, except they weren't alone in the car. They were traveling with their good friend, Bud Weiser. Yeah, they were drinking.
Oh.
That didn't help their cause at all when Brian told the officers date of birth was September 31st. There is no September 31st. Dad has been arrested for drunk driving. Son has been arrested for drug possession and resisting
Oh my
arrest.
gosh.
So they didn't necessarily have a great trip to Connecticut. So there you go. Some folks from Dummerston, Vermont.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so insane.
We got a story here about vacuum cleaner attachments and how bad they can be for your health. Well, maybe not. It just depends on how you use them. But we're going to chat about that on the way next.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever done with a vacuum cleaner attachment? Can you think? Have you ever done anything weird with one?
No.
I've done some dumb things with vacuum, like the little tubes.
I'm not sure that we can talk about this
No,
on the
I
radio.
didn't do anything naughty with them. I'm not. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
No. That's not the kind of. I don't know what you're thinking over there. But I know one time I took the vacuum cleaner, like the long tubes. Mm-hmm. I had like 6 of those attached. I took them from different vacuum cleaners. When I was vacuuming, I could stand all the way up. I didn't have to hunch over. And I was like, I wonder if anyone else has ever done this before. It didn't work very good, so probably not. When you got a tube that's like 4 feet long and you're standing up, you're like, hey, this is awesome. It's not enough suction. It didn't work too hot. I don't know what you're thinking over there, but that smirk on your face. Well, let's talk about Michael Sherman of Indiana. He used his vacuum attachment as a gun to rob a bank.
What?
Yeah, well,
I'm sure they didn't believe him.
The whole plan sucked for him because he's serving 20 years in prison now.
What an idiot.
And if you're wondering, yes, vacuum cleaner attachments are considered weapons if they're used in a bank robbery.
Well, anything is considered a weapon if you're using it in a bank robbery.
Michael pled guilty to armed robbery with a vacuum cleaner attachment.
What an idiot.
All right. Put the money in the bag or I'll clean your rugs. I don't know exactly what his plan was on that. All right. Coming up here in a bit.
Maybe he was trying to disguise it as a weapon and had it like stuck in his coat pocket or something.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. In a bit, we're going to talk about a dude that got stuck in a chimney. Oh, that sounds like a fun story. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
A California man faces burglary charges after police found him stuck in a chimney. It's not a good place to get stuck.
No.
Matthew Allen told police that he fell down the chimney after going onto the roof of a house to look at the stars.
Oh, sure he was.
And he got stuck near the bottom of the chimney. He took his pants off and began waving them around to set off the home's motion detectors. So he pulled his pants off and he waved his pants around inside the house to get the motion detector. Police officers were dispatched to the house twice Saturday morning because when they first got there, there was no signs of an intruder. Neighbors eventually heard a commotion coming from the house and called the police and said, there's somebody over there. You guys keep coming over and you leave.
And he just happened to go onto a random stranger's house to look at the stars.
And he slipped, wink, wink, and fell into the chimney.
All the way down to the bottom of the chimney before getting stuck. Yeah.
Sure, that's what happened. Pretty sure he was trying to climb into their house through the chimney.
Yeah.
He was trying to do it Santa style. He was like, ho, 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 you're gone and I'm going to steal your stuff. I don't think Santa does that.
Here's the funny thing. If he knew there were motion detectors inside the house,
what
was his plan once he got into the house? Because they were going to go off once he got through the chimney.
I have no idea. He probably didn't think of that far through, Heidi. See, you have what's referred to as brains, and I'm sure he did not. Yeah, he got stuck in a chimney. This guy's probably not going to be like at a Mensa meeting anytime soon. So, all right, coming up, we're going to talk about Greece and what they're banning. It's interesting. It's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Have you ever been to Greece?
I have not. I would love to go to Greece.
I have been to Greece. I was only there for just an hour. So, but when I was in Greece, just kind of going through, it's a neat place, and they've got a lot of history, but apparently they're not too fond of technology.
I've not been to Greece, but it's running through my veins.
Different kind of Greece. All right, Greece is banning all electronic arcade games because of the epidemic that they have going on there of illegal gambling that's going on in their country. So they have an illegal gambling epidemic, so they're banning all electronic arcade games. So apparently people are gambling on the arcade games.
Like Pac-Man?
Apparently.
Huh.
There's not much to this story, but what I do have is what I just told you, and it's enough.
That's
to make us all wonder.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
There must not be much to do in Greece.
No. Could I be missing part of the story?
You must be missing part of that story, because that can't possibly be.
The epidemic of illegal gambling going on in the country. It's front and back of this page here. So unless I missed a whole line, the epidemic of something else, And then illegal gambling is the next line. I have no idea. Hey, coming up here in a bit, we're going to be talking about somebody that got to listen to a little bit of music. They got to face the music, Heidi. It's on the way. I didn't read the story. I just
Clearly.
I got that from the headline.
All right.
I don't know if it even has anything to do with the story, but it's on the way. I have something to talk about in a bit. Thanks for joining us on a Tuesday.
Hi, it's Jewel.
And Kelly Pickler.
Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women
So we've joined the American Lung Association's Lung Force.
because it's going to take a force of women to create new hope.
Please join us.
Fight lung cancer in women at lungforce.org.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Have you ever heard the phrase, it's time to face the music?
Yes.
What does that mean, I wonder?
It means it's time to face the consequences of your actions.
I think, if I remember correctly, I'm almost positive that has something to do with, because I remember reading this, now that I said, well, I wonder what it means, had something to do with, like, back in olden times when they would execute people. Mm-hmm. There was, like, people that would play music, and I think they had to face the music before the firing squad or something like that. Now I'm curious. I'm going to have to Google that.
I think you're kind of pulling that one out
No,
of
I really
place.
No, I'm
pretty sure.
I'm not. I think that's what it is.
All right.
Time to face the music. I'm
Anyway,
almost positive.
read the story.
Well, here's the story that has nothing to do with that. Sentencing young offenders to listening to music they don't like is catching on. In Eastern Connecticut State University in Hartford, they decided to try this tactic with students who break campus rules. The punishment doesn't seem to be working so well for them, though. One student was sentenced to watch the production of Tosca, whatever that is, when he was caught with beer in his dorm. His reaction was, "Oh, that's awesome. I love that show."
Oh.
Another student said, "It's definitely not punishment. It's a privilege." At least one student in the audience was there voluntarily. He said, "I just want to go check out this show. I didn't get caught doing anything wrong. I just want to see the show." So he enjoyed his sentence to watch the Magic Flute. That's the one he had to watch last semester. And apparently they're really getting into opera.
I don't think that's really working too well.
No, these
They
are
might
different.
Need to try a different tactic.
They're making them watch opera movies is what they're making them watch. And apparently in Eastern Connecticut, there's nothing better to do, so they like opera. So, we had 2 stories about Connecticut today.
We did.
I've never even been there, so
I've not. Either.
that's a dot to put on the map someday.
There you go.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you joining us on a Tuesday. Hope you had a wonderful long weekend. For those of you who still have time off today, get out there and enjoy it. A lot of folks back to work today, so if you're heading back to work, enjoy that too. And a big thank you once again to our troops, past and present, because without you, we wouldn't have the freedoms we have, so we really do appreciate that a ton. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again bright and early tomorrow morning on a Wednesday on the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And it's the bonus break. We're going to head to New York here, Heidi. It's a crime-fighting kitten. It's been given a special award for undercover work that helped the police snatch a bogus vet. Fred the cat, a former stray, lined up with 20 police officers, also fire and court officers, as they were recognized for heroism with a plaque from the Brooklyn District Attorney Charles Hines. Fred the cat, I might add. Here's what Fred did. He helped lead to the arrest of Stephen Vasal, who allegedly performed a botched operation on a Boston Terrier. Vasal was called to an apartment rigged up with hidden cameras where he was to pick up Fred and neuter him. He was allegedly caught on tape telling investigators, posing as Fred's owners, that he could do the operation for $135. Apparently that's what a black market botched, what was it called again? Vasectomy? No, that's not what it was. Neuter. A neuter job. A neuter job on a cat on the black market, $135. As soon as he walked away from the house carrying Fred and the cash, he was arrested and charged with treating pets without a license.
Huh.
So he was pretending to be a veterinarian, and he was not a veterinarian.
Huh.
So Fred, the cat, got a badge of honor for that.
That's nice.
My question is, where do they pin this? On his collar? I hope?
On his collar.
All right. Now, we're big fans of the police here.
Yes.
You have 2 brothers.
I do.
They're both police officers.
They are.
I have another brother-in-law, in addition to her brothers are my brother-in-laws.
Yes.
Because we're married. So, as weird as that just came out. I have 3 brother-in-laws that are policemen.
Yes,
so,
you do.
Like my sister is married to a police officer as well. When I was a little boy, my dad was a policeman. So I have the utmost respect for police. But take a listen to this. 2 men said they were robbed at gunpoint while trying to buy 20 pounds of marijuana, so they called 911.
Oh, my gosh.
The sheriff's office in the Daytona Beach, Florida area says the men went to a home Monday of last week with $12,000 to buy some drugs. 2 men at the home jumped them and took their money and drove off. The would-be buyers jumped in their own car and followed the robbers and called 911 for help. The other car got away, but the deputies went back to the house where they, met up with these guys and then arrested them and charged them with robbery.
Oh, yeah.
And, so they called the police.
We've read several of those stories.
People are not
lately
smart.
Of people calling the police when they're doing something illegal to complain about the other people doing something more illegal than the illegal thing that they were doing.
What you just said should be on a T-shirt, because that was poetry, baby, poetry. All right. Do we have room for one more?
Yes.
Should we do one more story?
We should.
I don't want to leave on that one. So I got this one here. A man has been given a ticket for speeding in Chicago. He was riding his motorcycle 160 miles an hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a bit fast. He might have broken Chicago speeding records before being arrested. He was also given a ticket for jumping a red light.
We read this.
Did we really?
We did. We did this one.
And weaving. Did we really?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Because you were so impressed with him jumping a red light. We've read this one.
I wonder if that means, like, going through a red light, or you think he jumped over a red light. Did I already ask you this?
Yes. We've
All right,
already
I don't
talked
remember.
about this.
I don't remember talking about it. Well, then I'll do one more new. Do I have time for one more that I haven't
Sure.
read? Imagine never having to worry about a coffee stain on your shirt ever again. Or never worrying about dropping your Egg McMuffin on your shirt on your way to work. Well, there's a clothing company called Elizabeth & Clark, and they're trying to eliminate the fear of wearing white by making the unstainable white shirt.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah. According to the Huffington Post, the company's Kickstarter campaign went live back in April and has already raised nearly 4 times their goal of $30,000. And the company says the shirt, which comes in blouse and T-shirt style, works by using nanotechnology that fights off water-based or oil-based liquids and spills, even sweat, so no sweat would penetrate this. Elizabeth & Clark says the washable fabric uses proprietary garment finish that helps repel liquids the same way a flower repels dew in the morning.
Huh.
So there you go. I think that's interesting. How would you wash
How
it, though?
expensive are each of those things?
I have no idea.
Bet they're insane.
I think it's an interesting idea, but I just kind of wonder if, like, when you wash it, how do you get it clean? But I guess if it can't get dirty, maybe you don't have to wash it.
I'm sure you have to wash it.
This is kind of like, this is the clothing of the future, Heidi. Mm-hmm. Remember in Back to the Future 2?
I do.
The air dry.
Self-drying, yeah.
You are now dry. That was in the year 2015. When are those coming out?
Apparently now. They're
Apparently
around the
soon.
corner.
Maybe this is part of the technology to use that.
Could be.
It repels water altogether, so you'd always be dry.
There you go.
I got to get my McFlies and get my
I would like
hoverboard.
to get one of these shirts, but I wonder how comfortable they are. Just because if they repel stains, they can't be very breathable. I wouldn't think so. They'd be. Really
It just says they
hot.
have something attached to the fabric, so it sounds like it's not necessarily the fabric, but it's the coating on the fabric. So I don't know. You have to check it out. Elizabeth
and it causes
Clark.
cancer.
Yeah, you wear the shirt once, it'll
you
kill
won't
you.
have a stain, but you'll be
you're
dead.
sure going to look good in that casket. Elizabeth and Clark. Clark has an E on the end for some reason. So Elizabeth and Clark, go check it out. The unstainable white shirt. All right, time to say goodbye again, Heidi.
Goodbye again, Heidi.
All right, we're done. This is the end of our podcast. Go listen to something else now. Something nice.